If you're looking for a higher sound quality for your recording and for your streams, then this video is for you. I have broken down this video into 4 easy components that are easy to follow. So let's get right in. The first thing that you want to do is to go into your settings. When you get to your settings, you're going to land up on the general page, the general settings page. So what you do when you get here is that you simply select your theme. I prefer Yummy because it's easy and it sounds yummy. It's easy to use and it sounds yummy, so I prefer Yummy. So go ahead and select whatever you prefer. So I'm still gonna go with the default setting, Yummy, as I said. So now today we are only dealing with the audio settings. So you go to the first thing that you need to go to is your output, and when you get to your output, you're going to see that the output mode, I've set mine to advanced. So go ahead and select yours and set it to advanced as well. Go to recording. Type of recording should be standard. Recording settings. Recording path should be your local folder where you store your videos and your downloads or whatever. Maybe your USB stick or something, or your external hard drive. And recording format is Matroska video for me, MKV. And it's easy to set it up like this because Matroska takes less space, and you will be able to remix this into MP4 in the end, and it's so easy to use MKV for editing, so I stick with MKV. So the video encoder must be ×264 if you don't have any GPU, but if you do have a GPU, your NVIDIA or whatever you've got, please select that. And the audio encoder, standard FFmpeg AAC. So audio tracks, I'm using only 2 tracks, track 1 and 2. So rescale output, well, I've set mine to 1280 by 720 because my computer can only handle this and I do not have a GPU, as I said. So custom mixer settings, just leave it blank, don't do anything. So as you can see, mine are gray because I'm using OBS at the moment to record this video. So automatic file settings, just go to split by theme and that's it. So go to your encoder settings, that's your next step. The rate control here, leave it at CBR, and the bit rate, just play around because my computer can only handle 10,000 kilobits per second. And I've tried so many. I mean, I went as high as 45,000. So try to play in between anything between 10,000 and 17,000 or 25,000 or whatever you have. But if you're having a GPU, you can go higher. So the next step, go to your keyframe interval. Leave it at 0 seconds. I've left mine at 0 seconds because I do not have any GPU to process this. I'm using CPU. So the CPU usage preset, put it on higher, which equals to less CPU. So in my case here, I have got ultra fast, super fast, very fast, faster, fast, medium, slow, slower, very slow, and placebo. So I've selected very fast. You know, I played around with this until I got my own settings. So I would suggest that you start with very fast if you do not have a GPU, but if you have, you can even go, you know, as high as you can, maybe ultra fast or something. So the profile settings, I left them on main profile settings, and then tune is 0 latency. So this here ×264 options, This is just a simple code, you know, just to guide the encoder on how to handle these sound settings and the video bit rate, you know. So I'm going to put this down in the comment section, so you can just easily copy and paste it right here. Right, so you're done here with your output settings on recording. So remember, now you were busy setting the video settings. So now let's go to the audio settings. Audio settings, general, right here on top. Sample rate, select 42.1 kilohertz, and the channels, select stereo. So if you have a GPU right here on top here under the general settings, you can go to as high as 48,000 or whatever, 56, 100, whatever your computer can handle. So my computer can easily handle the 44.1 kilohertz, and the channels are in stereo. So global audio settings, I've got my speaker 6 USB audio device here as a default device. So in this case, you select whatever you use to listen to your music, whether it's your, you know, default, or maybe you have your audio interface connected. So select whatever you use here for the headphones or for the speakers. And desktop audio too, you do the same. So mic auxiliary, the first microphone here, or mic 1. Well, right here I'm using mix 2 as my audio, my mix 2 ASIO VED Pro driver. So what I'm doing basically here is that I'm using another audio device to route and to call, you know, to control all of my sound inputs individually into OBS. So this is my microphone basically. So I have done a video on how to use this, so please go ahead and click on this video and watch it to see how to set up this ASIO Link Pro driver to be able to control all your sound inputs individually, independently from one another. So that's it. I've selected mix 2 for that, and mic 2 or auxiliary audio, I've selected mix 3. So that's basically my third input into OBS. So onto this one here, I have connected my music, the beat that you're currently hearing. And on mic auxiliary 4, that's my primary microphone controller, this mic that I'm using to record this video with. So that's mix 4. So as I said, it's a video for this that I've done before, so go ahead and watch the video on how to set this up. So that's it on global audio settings. So under the meters here, I prefer my meter to decay, you know, to drop down very fast, and back it to, you know, pick according to the sample. So you go ahead and select whatever you want, if you want it medium type or the slow type. And under the pick meter type here, I've selected simple pick. You can go to true pick, which uses a higher CPU. So as it is, I'm using my CPU to process the recording of this video, so I really cannot go to this one because it's going to take much higher CPU. As you can see here, at the moment I'm using about 30% of my CPU. So advanced monitoring device, use your default as a monitoring device, and you can scroll down a bit, and once you scroll down there, you've got your hotkeys and stuff, so you can, you know, literally select whatever the key that you want to use to perform whatever the function that you prefer right here. So we're done here with the audio. So the next step that we're going to do is we're going to look into audio ducking, or to prevent, you know, clipping. So I've got my song here, Evolution Groove Hakalidi Filekwane. Is playing on Windows Media Player, and as you can see, it comes through into OBS via the mix 3 that I have discussed with you earlier, and is coming into the channel that I titled Beats. So what you can notice right now is that every time when I speak, my microphone goes up here and the beat goes down. And as you have also noticed, the reverse is true. When I keep quiet, the beat goes up, the mic goes down. So this is audio ducking. So what I've done here is that I came into this right here, I right clicked here and I went into filters, and when I got to filters, these are my my audio filters that I have used. So the first one that I've used is this ducking. So I have renamed it to ducking. It's basically a compressor that I have changed or renamed it. I've named it to ducking so that I know and remember easily what it does for me. And then the next one is a limiter. So you're going to apply them like this. First is your compressor, then your limiter. So what you're going to do here is you're going to get your ratio. Please feel free to copy my settings. So set your ratio to 3. Use this slider up and down, or slide it up and down, or use the arrows up and down. The threshold, I've set my threshold to -46 decibels and the attack to 56 milliseconds. What this is going to do is that it's only going to be active when the sound hits 46 decibels. And then the attack is the rate at which it's going to go back up 50 milliseconds. So the release, that's when you pause how long you want the music to stay low. So the higher the better. In my case here, I've gone to 661 milliseconds. So the output gain, don't fiddle with that. Leave it at 0 decibels. And finally, the side chaining or the ducking source. So under my ducking sources here, I have selected the mic input 4. As I've said before, that I am using my microphone in the mix 4. So that's the mic input 4 that I have also renamed. So I've selected that. So you go ahead and select whatever you use as your microphone. Then you're done with that. Go ahead and click on this plus button here and add a limiter. Once you've added your limiter, this is what is going to appear like. I'm not sure if the settings are going to be the same, but I would really like mine to release here in 1 millisecond. So go ahead and do that for yours as well. The threshold, my threshold is at -3.1 decibels. So I suggest you copy my settings and go ahead and click close. So now what you have done is that you have set up your beat so that your beat is going to respond to what your microphone does. If your microphone goes higher, the level goes higher here, when you start to speak, your mic input goes higher, and your music or whatever the input, whether it's your game or whether it's your guest or whatever you're doing, their voices start to go a little bit down. As you have noticed, like when you keep silent, the beat goes up. So the next thing that you want to do is to go into your mic input. You do the same. The first thing you do is you go into filters. So under the microphone settings here, what I've done is I have done quite a bit of work so that you don't have to go through the heartaches of figuring this out. So first thing that you want to do is to go and hit the plus button, and then you're going to add a noise suppression. So noise suppression, what this does is that it's going to make sure that it quietens your environment. You know, all the sounds that are around you do not interfere with your microphone and with your recording, thus helping to make your stream sound better and more professional and more studio like mine. Yeah, so noise suppression, the method that you're going to choose there, because we do not have a GPU and we want to use a very low CPU, so go ahead and select speaks. Because of low CPU usage, never mind the quality, it works perfectly fine. You can hear it right now, it works perfectly fine. So go ahead and select it. It's a pretty decent noise suppressor. I really love it. Okay, and then noise suppression level, because I'm in a very noisy environment. You know, there's people playing music elsewhere, you know, there's kids, there's everybody on their phones and people talking. So I just don't want their voices to come through. So I kept mine at minus 55 decibels. So go ahead and do that if you are in an environment like mine, in a noisy environment. Maybe that is you know, your computer tower or your air conditioner is running or something, or maybe someone is watching a video on another device. So go ahead and select minus 55 decibels. So the next thing that you want to go and do is to go into the noise gate. At the noise gate and put your threshold at minus 9 decibels. So that's the close threshold. So your open threshold, keep it at minus 29 decibels. Attack time 1 millisecond, hold time 100 millisecond, release time 660 milliseconds. So what you're doing here, you are trying to figure your own settings out. So use my settings and then you can modify them to suit your style or to suit your voice. The next thing that you want to add, remember all of these presets, all of these filters, you get them from this plus button here. Just click there and then that's your noise gate. You select and then you set it up. The next thing that you want to set up is the 3-band equalizer. So that's for my vocals. So here it is, 3-band equalizer. So what I've done here is that these are unique to my voice, and I just wanted to add a little bit of bass to my voice because my voice is a little bit softer. So 0.6 decibels I have added. So the mid, I have went down a little bit with my mids to minus 0.9 decibels. And what you can do as well is to go higher into your highs. And when you go into your highs, put them at minus 0.5 decibels. You don't want them too high, because when they are too high, it's going to sound like you're speaking into that, you know, loudspeaker, or sound like a radio or a telephone sound, you know. And right here, man, right here in the middle, that's where the magic happens. So go ahead and fiddle with that until you find your sweet spot. So for starters, feel free to use mine for learning. Use my settings for your learning and to be able to notice what these filters do. So the next thing that you want to add is your expander. Click on the plus button, select the expander, here it is, and then preset, keep it at expander, don't change it to a gate, just say it's an expander. That's what you want to do. Put your ratio at 3. threshold at minus 25.2 decibels, around there, and then put your attack at very fast at 1 millisecond. Your release must be very slow at about 680 milliseconds, and then the output gain at minus 0.6 decibels, because I really don't want my voice to go way too high. So I'm going to explain to you why I have these in all this sequence. And then the detection, go to peak, not RMS, peak, because I have experienced a lot of glitching and sound problems with RMS. So I've selected peak and my problems were solved. So go ahead and add the compressor, same procedure, plus button, select compressor. The ratio of the compressor must be at 3, the threshold must be at 55.8, attack must be at 1, release must be at 400 milliseconds, and then the output gain must be at 32 decibels. I've went way high, but I don't mind, this is full throttle. So side chaining or ducking source, we need side chaining here, this side. Remember, we are only trying to make sure that we clean the environment at which we produce our sound. So limiter, the threshold must be at minus 0.1 decibels and the release time must be at 60 milliseconds. So this is what this does. So the first thing when you add your noise suppression is that you are cleaning your voice, your vocal, as it gets into the microphone. You want to remove all of these other obstructions or the interferences that comes with it. So you clean the environment. So the second step is the noise gate, is to set when must the microphone start picking up your voice, when, in terms of the decibels, what sounds must open the gate and what sounds must close. The frequencies of minus 29 can open that and minus 9 will close it, and then the attack time is 1, like I said, remember. So the 3-band equalizer, that's where now you tune your voice. You're trying to find on the sound spectrum where your voice fits. So you're not trying to come up with something fancy here. You're not trying to change your voice, you're just trying to find your natural frequency. That's it. And then once you find it, just leave your settings as they are. Here it is. So you clean the background, the noise suppressing, you have suppressed the background noise, and now you have selected when the microphone must respond to do those functions. Now you're telling now, okay, this is my frequency band, this is where my voice lies on the sound spectrum. Now the third thing that you're doing is now you're trying to expand the sound, to make it full, like you are hearing it now. My sound is so full, and it's not too bassy, it's not too teachy, it's smooth, it's nice, exactly the way you want it. So this is what your expander does. So the compressor, here, your compressor is going to help and to compress your sound, and to put it into one wavelength, one package, so that when it goes out there, it comes out sounding professional like this one does. So you have what you're doing here is you are removing all the clippings or the stuff like that. And then the limiter here, remember that I have put up my gain up to 32 decibels, which is way too high. So we can fix that with what? With a limiter. The limiter is not going to allow any sound to go beyond minus 1 decibels. So you have done all of those things. Now what you can do is to make sure that you recap and check if everything flows this sequence. This sequence here is the professional sequence. What is the point of you trying to limit or to put all of these effects, to a sound that was not cleaned? So you are cleaning your sound first with these two two filters, the noise suppression and the noise gate, and then you're going to enhance and find your frequency, and then you're going to expand your sound, you know, try to make it full, you know, and then you're going to limit the sound. You're going to compress it and limit so that it does not exceed the natural limits that your ear or that the ears of your listeners prefers. All right, cool, we're done there. So go ahead and hit close. So this is what you're going to end up with now. So I'm going to keep quiet. I'm going to keep quiet for a second so that you can see and focus on the behavior of these things right here. So let's see the audio mixer. As you notice the behavior of my beats right over here, my music, it doesn't go beyond what I have set, which is minus 0.1 decibels. Take a look at it right here. Now take a look at my microphone as well right here. You see, so what you are trying to do with your compressing and everything else, you're trying to keep your voice right here. You know, you don't want your voice to drop way beyond your minus 30 or the minus 35s. You know, you must just keep it there, and when it rises, it mustn't rise beyond minus 5 decibels. So right here, this is a sweet spot. You see, every time I speak, my voice plays somewhere here in the yellow, and it touches just a little bit into the red, but it does not clip. It's not clipping because I have added the limiter. So this is it. This is it. These are your settings, and this is what you have to do in order to make sure that you do not hurt your listeners' ears. This is how to not hurt your viewers' ears. I hope this video has helped you as much as I hope it would. Subscribe to the channel for more videos like this, and see you in the next one.